Do you want to be that person that says, I'm staying with one franchise for my entire career, or is it just contingent upon where the franchise is?
Yeah, I mean, I can clearly say I want to be a Warrior for life. That's always been my goal. And I'm saying that sitting in this chair right now. But like you said, life and especially life in the NBA, it is a wild environment, and things change quickly, and the league has changed quickly. So we're trying to adapt and evolve. And yeah, until that, I'll let everybody know if that changes. But right now, like, of course, the goal is always to finish my career with one team.
A lot of conversations being had in Las Vegas this week, right? Amongst Team USA, Summer League. Got a showcase against Canada I expect to be spicier than usual tonight that I will take a look at on Patreon tomorrow. But a lot of people kind of perceived that comment from Steph that things change quickly as him applying pressure to the front office. I think Steph was being transparent. This isn't he isn't LeBron with the shadow tactics and manipulation. I think he was just being very candid. Both he and Kerr on the Clay situation and never say never type of thing moving forward. And I know that everyone is hyper-focused on Lauri Markkanen and what that would take. You see the Jazz, Danny Ainge, the posturing is crazy, right? He's talking about, 2 firsts for Kessler. He's just, these are all tactics, right? The weight approach. Listen, man, I do think as much as everybody wants Lauri in his prime, there's still a possibility that there could be a reuniting of another 7-footer back in the Bay. You saw Steph and KD out on the town in Vegas. There was some photos on Instagram or something like that. And we know the history of Team USA, where these conversations, these plans, and these decisions, that's the root of them. And I know Phoenix is saying, and Durant, hey, this is nonsense. We don't want to write. That's what everyone says until it happens. And so I'm not saying I'd rather have a 35-year-old Kevin Durant than Lauri Markkanen, but at what cost? And again, are they going to flip Wiggins for more picks? There's so many possibilities, but I think, instead of reading Steph's comment as, hey, you better get this done or I may not extend, I look at it more as, hey, like the conversations being had in Paris and in Vegas, it may not be Markkanen, it may be another star that Steph lures to the Bay or back to the Bay. Now, the Warriors have played 2 Summer League games already at the California Classic at the Chase Center. No Pods, no Trace Jackson-Davis. Gui Santos, congratulations to him and Team Brazil. He's going to be in Paris, so we're not going to see him. But I do have some takeaways, and I do have breakdowns of those first 2 games on my Patreon. Let's start with Reese Beakman, who already has a 2-way contract. Kind of Tyrese Maxey-ish as far as physically, the way he moves. He's got a really nice kind of hang, change of pace dribble. And what I see is a guy that will flourish the faster the game is being played in pace, right? And defensively, he came correct. He came as advertised as far as a guy that digs down, fights over the top, locks and trails, and you can tell he likes to defend. The issue is the jump shot. And that's why he was an undrafted player. It's funny because when you watch these Summer League games, you go, who is that bum? Oh, who is that bum? Every bum, some fan somewhere has hope of and they're intrigued with, right? But back to Beakman, the jumper has a hitch. He shoots it. It's not congruent. He shoots it on the way down a little bit, and there's a hitch at the end, like a little jolt to try to power it from 3. And so that's going to be the issue. But I think in pace and defensively, he will thrive. You can tell that he's actually a point guard by how he keeps his dribble alive, right? He can penetrate, he keeps it alive, and he makes the simple play. So I like that. But I don't know if the jumper will ever get there. Like to remove a hitch from a 22-year-old or, however old he is, that's a tough battle. More intriguing than Beakman is Marquis Bagley, 26-year-old, 6'10", defensive center, and boy, is he a defensive center. Like, you want to talk about immaculate timing. distance management. You saw him in the pick and roll. He had like 5 or 6 blocks in both the games. And he was basically, guys were hitting U-turns once they were getting to the nail, like, I don't even want to deal with this dude. And he has a rare combination because he's not explosive. He's not an explosive athlete, but it's his timing, his length, and his discipline. Usually when you're dealing with a prolific shot blocker, the cost is they're going to hunt them, right? They're going to pull themselves out of position a little bit and they may get in foul trouble. This guy is super disciplined. And I don't think I've ever seen a guy get more block shots at the release, right? He gets them late and he shocks guys. But by the second half of the second game, I think word was out at the California Classic, like, yo, don't try this dude in the paint. Now, the issue with him offensively, as fluid as he is in the pick and roll coverage defensively and guarding the basket offensively, he's kind of clumsy. His feet aren't decisive. And, I think he doesn't have that quick explosion to finish in the dunker spot at the NBA level. He's long enough, right? But I think he'd struggle offensively. He did spot up and hit a trail 3 and a corner 3. So if he could shoot the 3, that would be huge. But I say all that to say his rim protection looks so elite, and defensively, his feel in the pick and roll and his size, I think now, correct me if I'm wrong, we have 3 two-way contracts. We've given one to Beakman, right? Lester Quinones is no longer with us. Pat Spencer, he could be fighting for one. Pat did well in his debut. He looks like he's trying to turn into a point guard, a ball handling guard. But this dude, listen, I get it. He's not going to be part of the rotation. But on the nights you're facing Jokic, you're facing Embiid, the 3 or 4 dominant big men in the league, to bring this guy out on the floor and use his fouls and defend, I think it might be a nice kind of break glass and emergency size on the end of the bench. So I've been very impressed with him defensively. Now, the other guy that may have a possibility at one of these two ways is Dayquan Plowden out of Bowling Green, Colorado, I think he played at. And on site, when you see him, he's like 6'6", 215, 220, etched out. He looks like a slasher, right? And then all of a sudden, he starts letting go these moonball threes. And you're like, okay, he could shoot the corner 3, relocate 3. Now he catches one stepping back from like 28, splash. He went, like 6 of 9 in game 1. Now, he didn't shoot it quite as well in game 2, but he's a shooter. You can tell by the diversity of the shots he takes, as well as just the way it goes in, and just how softly and how high arcing of a shot it is. But then he's got a little more to his game. If you run him off the 3-point line, he can get to the nail. He's got a float game, a finish game. He tried to tomahawk on somebody. And so he looks like a prototypical 3-and-D guy and a wing who shoots the 3 well and is willing to defend with a big, nice NBA size frame. Listen, I could see another team swooping him up. So I think that he may, get a look at other teams, if not us, as far as a two-way deal. Heck, even maybe a contract. He's been very impressive. And then Ethan Thompson, the point guard, if statistically, if you look at the box score of those games, you're going to say, oh, he was the best guy on the floor. Now, we blew out the Lakers and Heat by like 40 points. And so there was an extended amount of garbage time. I don't want to take anything away from him. He's clever. He's about a 6'4". He looks like Kobe White at half speed. And so I don't know how effective that is in the NBA. A lot of the shots he made, I was like, I don't know if that flies in the NBA. He's crafty, good handle, quick hands, gambles on defense, but he knows how to score baskets. My comp would be a little, maybe I know I got off the Kobe White joke, but kind of Ty Jerome-ish as far as like high-skilled, crafty guard at 6'4", 6'5", but the athletic pop isn't there. And so I don't think he fits our roster. I don't know. I would not want to add a guy that needs the ball in his hands, a smaller guard, but he may get a look somewhere else. That's part of this summer league, right? You're not just auditioning for the roster that you're on. Now, they have some sort of Mitch Richmond I don't know what it is. Some sort of trophy they've made up here. Warriors Kings Summer League tonight at the same time as this Canada showcase. Pajemski and Trey sound like they're showing up because they want this Mitch Richmond trophy. It's only, I guess I was going to say it's only right we get it, but Mitch, you could argue, might have had a better career for the Kings than he did the Warriors. But anyway, I'm going to cover that as well as the the Canada-USA showcase game on my Patreon tomorrow. I'll probably make it a hybrid breakdown because I expect Dillon Brooks in Canada to try to make a statement, at least in the first half of that game. But the other news out of Team USA is Kawhi. They shut him down, and, doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good, this knee thing, and they add Derek White. You know what I was thinking about, too, though, was the curse mad sneaky, right? Because if you look at this Canada team, you say, all right, are they the biggest competition, the biggest roadblock to the U.S. getting this gold medal? Probably, right? You strip them of Wiggins. Kerr's like, no, you can't play. Not that he would be their best player. He'd probably be their best wing defender. Him and Brooks would be the two wing defenders. Not only does it protect the Warriors in the trade talks and moving forward, it also, weakens our biggest opponent in this Olympic game. So kind of a sneaky move there by Kerr. But yeah, man, I think my main point is with Steph's comments here at the beginning where let's not fixate too much on marketing. I think there are other options that may not have shown themselves quite yet. We haven't talked about Kyle Kuzma in a while. The Ingram thing, the money always matters. But I interpreted Steph's comments not so much as applying pressure, but as maybe saying, hey, you never know who it could be. Hey, maybe it'll be Steph. Nah, I don't think he's going anywhere. Anyway, hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.